A man takes accountability when he is wrong. A man will support, protect, provide. Josh does none of those. Just when you thought it was the worst possible idea to move overseas to try to be with someone else that you just met, that you don't know, that you have to figure it all out with, it only seems to get so much worse. Is Josh ever going to be able to be intimate with Lily? I guess we'll find that out. Is Corona ever going to be able to make it in Iceland and accept just the way things are? Are the kids going to be able to accept the situation with Joanna and Shawn? In fact, he's kind of the only one that seems at least somewhat sane in the whole show, but we'll see about that. And will James and Tata finally be able to figure out what the hell they're doing? Trust me, it only gets worse. But first, make sure you comment, like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. I appreciate all the support. Thank you so much. My God, let's just roll it.
To the United States. She said she had a friend in the U.S. who told her that I mistreated women in relationships. She doesn't even have any friends in the United States.
What the hell? So what he's talking about is Tata's sister, who she apparently was very close with, was not very fond of Tata moving to the United States to be with James and felt kind of slighted, if you will. And so what do you do in that natural situation? Instead of, you talk maturely with your sister. You talk and say, hey, I don't know if this is a great idea. Or you spread a malicious lie that he doesn't treat women well because she had a friend in the United States that she knew. And for some reason, the parents believed it at some point. I mean, that's got to be the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Now, don't get me wrong. This guy is no man. He can't make up his mind. He can't be honest with her. He can't straight up say, I don't want kids. He's still stringing it along. But at the very least, we can say that there's no reason to spread any malicious lies. He's going to burn that bridge himself, and he's done a lot of wrong. But in this case, that ain't got nothing to do with it. And the fact that her sister spread that is some serious high school-ish.
2 years ago, she did apologize for make up those lies.
Oh.
And I feel like she genuinely apologized.
I'm sure you do.
Her.
But
after that, our relationship just never been the same.
Because she apologized just out of necessity. She didn't really mean it, and we'll see how she really feels here in just a minute. And you don't even have to hear her talk. Just the look on her face says it all. And you know what? The reality of the situation is, there's always going to be siblings, there's always going to be brother-in-law, sister-in-law, things like that just don't get along. Whether it's because of beliefs, whether it's because, you did slight their sibling at some point. In this case, it doesn't really seem like James did anything wrong. Tata made her own decision as an adult, and the fact is that siblings move away. I get it, it was to a different country, and I can argue a lot of things that James has done wrong, and he has no business being in this relationship for a lot of reasons, but she, the sister, is not giving any of them. Instead, she just feels jealous. That's what it is. She feels jealous because they grew up so close. That is not a reason to not let your sister get married and have her own life.
And then having engaged and then
Look,
move
she's
to
just
America
pissed. Look at
so
her.
quick.
Just pissed.
That's why I've spread the gossip saying that James is really bad person to my dad because how can I know that James is really good person?
So you spread a malicious lie because how could you know he's a good person? Basically saying he gave me absolutely no reason to believe he's a bad person, but because I don't have enough evidence, I'm going to assume he's a bad person, spread a malicious lie, and then just, drop the grenade and walk away. Do you know what if her sister's going to her, telling the father, telling the family that he's this horrible person to women, I guarantee, I don't even have to know, I don't even have to have been a fly on the wall there. I guarantee that caused all kinds of fights because she probably believed it, at least initially. And then the sister finally admitted she messed up, and then maybe, I doubt he got an apology, but maybe that kind of calmed down, but guarantee that caused a whole lot of rifts in the relationship. And you know what? She doesn't care because she didn't know that he was a good guy. Evidence? None.
More tense between them. I just want them just get along.
They're not going to. They're not going to get along.
But yeah, we're moving here, so that's good. So we can hang out
and then what you gonna do
Yeah,
here?
exactly.
What are we gonna do?
That's the problem we're running into.
You're working in the USA, right?
Exactly, yes. So now, you know what she's doing? She's using this as saying, you're moving here. Now you can't, how are you going to provide for my sister here? You don't speak the language. What kind of job are you going to do? And now she used it as them moving away to bash him when he did have a job. And now she's going to use it as them moving there and living there as to bash him. There is no making this sister happy. Short of him saving her life, there's no way to make her happy. She just doesn't like him. This is that whole, I don't like your face. It's kind of like, you know what, man? I just don't like your face. But what did I do? I don't like your face. That's it. That's pretty much what this is right here. No real justification except for you took my sister away, but there was no indication that she was mistreated or anything. And quite frankly, there never has been. The issue has been them being upfront and honest about what they want in a relationship. And he has not been upfront about not wanting kids. So that is the problem they have to work through. And quite frankly, it's not something that's going to get fixed that easily. But as far as actually mistreating her, there's no indication of that. And the fact is she is acting like he beat her or something, spread ridiculous, malicious lies, and now just wants to be like, well, what are you going to do? I didn't know if he was a good guy. She has mental health issues. Mark my words, it ain't going to get better. Now, we left Josh and Lily with a big problem because he decided to act like a straight-up man-child and start even criticizing his brother when he's like, hey, you might not want to act like that to her daughter. That's going to be your stepdaughter. Instead, he wanted to act like the abusive stepfather who's like, basically, get that kid out of here. She's trying to break up our relationship when she's just concerned about her mom. Quite frankly, there was nothing that her daughter did that really said, oh my gosh, she's really trying to break up the relationship. It was more questioning. It was more like, you had some issues in the past. Please tell me about, like, I don't know, the girl you were dating. And then he flipped it on her, really got defensive. And then he even went after his brother when his brother was like, what the hell, dude? And now here we are with, are they going to make it work? I mean, quite frankly, there's no reason for Josh to even have a chance with her at this point because the way he acted, he doesn't deserve any relationship at all. Let's see if it gets better.
早上醒来，杰瑞德给我写了一段话在他的手机上。他说家是跟他聊了，也知道自己的错误了。
Are you serious? So basically what happened is the brother had to come to her in the morning and say, hey, Josh told me he acknowledges mistakes. He's sorry. But Josh is nowhere to be found. It's like passing a note in grade school. What the hell is this crap? This is not a man being a man. This is far from it.
确实是好人，然后只是呢，他的性格有点问题。
With his character.
就他非常的敏感，然后当他遇到说我们说他错了。 When
he's confronted with what he's done wrong, he attacks and blames others. That is no man. You know what a man does? A man takes accountability when he is wrong. A man will support, protect, provide. Josh does none of those. He is no man. His man card is revoked again.
其实我们的次数很少。
And naturally, you talk about sex with your daughter.
那我想请问你们上一次
was last time. What?
7
months ago. What are you even talking? So she proceeds to go on and say they haven't had sex since he got there. Now, sex is not the end all be all in every relationship. But when you're talking about your wife, this isn't even just a girlfriend who you just met and you're kind of taking it slow. This is your wife who you have been apart from for a period of time. You come over to China to live and you haven't had sex yet? What is wrong with you? You don't want to be intimate with your wife and be the closest you possibly can be? Something is wrong with him. I don't know what it is. I don't know what he's going through. I don't know what he's getting at. I don't know if he's got something broken down there and he just needs a blue chew or something, but damn, he got a problem because when you don't actually want to be intimate with your wife and you've been apart for all this time and the first thing you don't want to do is be as close as you possibly can, there's something seriously wrong there and y'all have some serious issues you need to work out. The fact is Josh doesn't even have the basic principles of being a man down. When I'm wrong and I do something that I have to admit I'm wrong to my wife, you know what I do? I admit I was wrong because that's what you do. You don't dig in your heels. You don't let your ego get the best of you. And in reality, yes, we as men have a level of ego. It's there. but it's overcoming it to a level of being able to admit when you're wrong. Not completely cower down and always say you're wrong no matter what, but have that balance of, yes, you're going to have arguments, yes, you're going to be right sometimes, but you have to admit when you're wrong. The fact is Josh has not learned how to do that. He doesn't provide, he can't admit when he's wrong, he doesn't support. I really struggle with the fact that he could actually protect. He's missing 4 elements that would make you actually be considered a man or someone who is at least mature enough to be able to handle a family and a marriage. He does not have that, and I don't see that happening anytime soon. Now, Corona and Inky continue to struggle with what they both want in a relationship. Is she going to be able to stay in Iceland? Is she going to get what she wants without holding resentments? And is it really a problem that he has this kind of easygoing personality? I kind of feel the need to address the fact that she keeps bringing up the fact that he is constantly saying, like, it's okay, we'll figure it out. Again, that's kind of a guy thing. We don't want to overreact. A lot of us don't want to overthink, don't want to overanalyze. Now, let me say, it's not a one-size-fits-all. Of course, there are men that overanalyze and things like that. But most of the time, when you're trying to be supportive of your family, of your significant other, whoever it is, we are taking that and kind of being like, it's going to be okay, while we're trying to figure out what the best move is, while we're trying to figure out the fix. We want to fix things. So this whole, oh, it's going to be okay, isn't necessarily him just not caring. It's he also maybe thinking, let me see how I can fix it or think of something, but I don't have something right now. So feel the need to point that out because she really focuses a lot on that aspect. Like, he doesn't care. I don't think it's he doesn't care. I think he is being a guy in the sense of he wants to fix it, but he doesn't have the answers for you. Now, the other problem is that she seems to have different views of how the relationship should go, and also her past relationships.
My dating history is not the best. I date like monsters, but
monsters.
They've always been like kind of obsessed with me in a way that like I like. Like,
that's
if I
weird.
come out in a nice outfit, then they're like, oh my god, like yes. But
overcompliment.
The other day I came out in like a sexy outfit, and Inky was just like, cool, let's go.
So you can't figure what you want. So too much you really want, but he's like, but yet it's the bad guy. It's the one you date these monsters, but yet he's like, all right, look good. I've seen you in that outfit before. By the way, that's what he said. He said, I've seen that outfit before. And because he didn't react the way you wanted him to, it's this big problem. The fact is, you don't know what you want in a relationship. And to be fair, I don't think he knows what he wants in a relationship. He clarifies a little bit, but I really don't think he knows what he wants or where he's going with this. I think for him, right now, he's probably just having fun. I think you just kind of want this picturesque, whatever you see in your mind, and it's not reality either. This is why it's going to be a problem going forward.
When you love someone and like you trust someone and you like have a relationship with them, like that's enough. So having some dude in a robe say something in Latin, like that doesn't mean a thing to me.
That is going to be a problem. So what he's saying is basically marriage means nothing to him. She wants to get married, and he's saying a big portion of the country is atheists, him included it sounds like, and he doesn't really care about getting married. To him, being together forever is, you don't have to get married for that. And that's fine to have that belief, but this should have been something you talked about beforehand. So what happened was she sent him a ring at one point and said, by the way, if the ring doesn't look like this, I'm going to say no, which is ridiculous in and of itself. But the fact is, the signs were out there that she wanted to get married. And he should have put out there at some point he didn't want to get married. She did have a valid point that, oh, but you're saying that, but your brother's married, your parents are married. And he came back with, yeah, but that's kind of like a utility thing in case someone dies or something like that, but you're still married. The fact is people in your family are willing to get married, and your argument is no one in Iceland cares. So there's some issues there. They have to figure out what they want in the relationship. She needs to figure out if she wants to do her midwifery school or whatever it is, finish that up, what she's going to do with that. Are they going to be together? Are they going to get married? All questions they have to answer that they don't seem to have answered. It's a big problem. Gonna be a problem going forward.
I would like us one day to be all under the same roof. But yeah, we haven't thought, you know what, Donna, I didn't even think, like even when the boys were over, I was like, oh, I apologize, we did.
Yeah, exactly. You didn't think, and that is the biggest part of the problem, is their whole thing is, we didn't think about it, we were in the moment. But now you have all these people who didn't know what was going on that you have to come to terms with the fact that they're going to have problems with, and now you have questions being asked, like her mom asking, so what's the deal? Where are you going to live? How's this going to look? Are you going to move us in? Are you going to move me in? You going to move the boys in? And you don't have the answers. So you had a year, I believe it was a year and a half or 2 years. It was a long time. And you didn't actually try to think some of these things through or actually try to resolve some of these things because Joanne kept saying, oh, I got to introduce you to the boys and all that. This is the problem with holding this out for so long, because now you have all these unanswered questions and everyone wants answers because now they just found out you've actually been married for a couple years. Not thinking things through is not the way, especially when kids are involved. Bad idea.
I have not heard from Joey since he's gotten back to the U.S. and it's worrying me because I'm like, does he just not want to talk to me right now, or is he still processing? Are there more feelings? Is he angry? It could be a number of reasons.
All of the above.
By my kids' reactions, it seems as though they're hurting a little bit more than I even expected.
How are you downplaying this? Of course they're hurting more. Of course they're feeling every single thing you just laid out. They don't want to talk to you right now. They're still processing. They're angry. They have more things to say and feel, and yet you're acting like, I wonder if all of this is going on. Lady, come on. You have an 18-year-old, and I believe the other one's 11 or 12. You have to know them well enough to know that, yeah, they're not really feeling this, and you had to know that this was going to happen. You just introduced them to their stepdad, who you've been married to for 2 years. You kept it from them. They're going to feel betrayed. And oh, by the way, even the 12-year-old is old enough to feel like, what the hell, Mom? The 18-year-old, of course, is, but, he's an adult. Not kinda. I mean, 18, are you really an adult? Legally, yes, but your brain is developing until you're 25. So the maturity level is, Mom, why would you do that to me? Why the hell would you do that? And instead of thinking, God, I really messed up, which she said, but I don't think she really has felt, she's sitting there thinking, well, I just don't know how they're feeling. It's not the right way. And quite frankly, all you're going to do is draw or drive more of a wedge in between you and your family. You better really come to terms with what they kind of want if you don't want to drive your kids away, because it's going to be a big problem. Doesn't matter how nice Shawn is, and quite frankly, he's probably one of the nicer guys so far on the show. But it still hurts what you did, and you need to come to terms with that and accept it. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate all the support. It does not go unnoticed. We are so close to 1,000. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. I appreciate all the support, and I will see y'all next time.